back to another episode of Jacksonville Buzz's Buzzworthy Businesses. I'm Steve Strum, and sort of kind of over there, but not really that far over there, Dave Permenter.
Hello.
You know, it's not that far this time. We're not in that much trouble. Sometimes they separate us for the purposes of
we misbehave.
Most
I
of
can
the time,
see that.
most of the time is Dave. We're not here to talk about your behavioral challenges. We're here to talk about her behavioral challenges. Who do we have today?
Yes.
Well, we have Valerie Tucciarone of the Fitness Forum, owner of the Fitness Forum, with us today. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you.
Great
Appreciate
to
it.
have you
Thanks
on.
for having me.
All right.
Well, we're talking a little offset. Cool story. So you used to bench press aircraft carriers in the Navy, and then there was a little heavy, and you got hurt. In all sincerity, collegiate athlete, power lifter, got hurt, had a very interesting moment of epiphany type of situation doing physical PT tests for the Navy. Tell us a little bit about your story, kind of what's motivated you to now be a provider of consultation services on people being their best selves.
Yeah, so for me, I was recruited for cross country. I joke that I like to eat, so I ended up in the powerlifting team and fell in love with it, did it for a few years. Going into collegiate nationals my senior year, so I'd gotten to a pretty competitive level. I was bench pressing 250, so not quite an aircraft carrier, but it was up there.
It's close.
It's close.
It's like a destroyer.
That's a lot of weight to throw around.
Yeah,
man.
it was close. So I, long story short, ended up getting hurt. It was a weird freak accident. It was just warming up one day, and so I had a lot of issues, and that led to a lot of musculoskeletal problems, migraines, so cervical and lumbar problems. And up to that point, I had been running some PT programs for the Navy, had been doing a lot of performance training, helping people lose weight, things like that. But once I got injured, I really found a passion in pain management because I went through it. I was an athlete for years. That was my identity. I felt like it was lost, and I gained a lot of weight. I'm 5'3" and shrinking, and I gained about 40 pounds, so that was pretty significant on my frame. And the turning point for me after years of, focusing on the Navy and, honestly neglecting my own body, I was getting ready for another PT test for the Navy, and I weighed in, and they told me that I had to get taped. And so that's where you have to lift your shirt up, and they put a tape measure around your stomach and essentially check to make sure you're not too fat. And if you don't pass that, it doesn't matter how you do on the physical fitness test, you automatically fail. And the policy has changed from, there's been times where you automatically get kicked out and, all kinds of stuff. So anyway, that was really the tipping point for me. I lost it all, got into competitive bodybuilding, which is what I do now, and help people get their bodies back.
That's awesome. Like the epiphany of being picked last in kickball.
Worse.
I mean, because not only that, but your livelihood, man.
A little bit of humiliation.
You don't just get to watch from the fence. You got to go do something different.
So you do not physical therapy, but you're a personal trainer,
Correct.
but you also focus heavily on pain management.
Correct.
What is the methodology? I mean, how do you go about doing that?
Yeah, so for me, I don't like to take pills. I don't like to get the epidural injections. I don't like to lean on surgery and things like that. So my philosophy is really that, the body is capable of a lot more than we give it.
If we get out of the way.
If we get out of the way, right? We don't give it a whole lot, and so that's my philosophy, is teaching people to help themselves by helping the body heal itself.
And what are the tools that you use for that? Physical training, dietetics, nutrition?
Yep, so I'm getting my master's in nutrition and dietetics right now, so nutrition's a big part of what I do. But I've explored all kinds of homeopathic and alternative therapies, so red light, vibration therapy, sauna, infrared, spectrum, all kinds of different things are out there. Oxygen therapy, and all of those are non-invasive things that help, that are studied and are underutilized, in my opinion.
It is fascinating. We are living in the future. You can apply the Jedi mind trick to helping yourself be in the peak state, and then all this advancement, right, and this bioengineering stuff. It's just fascinating. So for somebody who might be watching this, who's like, I get it, right? Because everybody's had that moment in life where it was a turning point, and the not just the fact that your career could have been over, but like the social interaction that must occur of that. There's a great book written by a lady called Brene Brown, which is all about shame management, right? It's called Daring Greatly. So you had your Daring Greatly moment, right? Where you're like, you know what? I'm going to, for other people, for those other people that are like, gosh, man, I don't know how I would feel about being taped. What's that thing that you want to tell them about this business and your passion that's like that takeaway that they're like, you know what? I need to reach out to this lady because of...
Yeah, I think that, well, you'll notice I'm wearing 2 watches, right? I'm a big techie nerd data person. My undergrad's in engineering, so I'm big on data, but I think the reason why a lot of people don't start is because they're afraid to, they go into this all or nothing, right? It's I know all the right things to do, I have to do everything, and I'm not going to start until I know that I'm in that place. And just one foot in front of the other, a little bit at a time. I held on to that 40 pounds for years, and I knew all the right things to do. I mean, I knew all the right things. So my advice is, and it doesn't have to be to me, right? But reach out to whoever is that first step, even if that's a friend. Whatever that first step is, it's the first step of many, and that's much better than starting sprinting in the right direction and falling down and then saying, well, I'll just start again when I'm ready to start sprinting again.
But what's interesting, too, is there's 2 sets of that 40 pounds. There's the actual 40 pounds that you carry, and then there's that 40 pounds that you see in the mirror forever. And it sounds like you are doing both the physical body component to make sure that that 40 pounds, that metaphor for the people watching this, that 40 pounds is taken care of, but also the one that sees themselves in the mirror, because that one can be the worst critic.
100%.
Fantastic. It's always fun when you have people that have had a moment of opportunity in life, and either they crumble or they rise to the occasion.
You have certainly risen. One last question for you.
Yeah.
Are you working brick and mortar? Are you mobile? How do people, where do they go? How do they find you?
Yeah, good question. So I'm in person and remote. So I do travel to folks in the Jacksonville area. I'm located in South Jacksonville, but I do travel to people a little bit further up north on occasion. I do work remotely too, so a lot of people will work with me in person for a little bit. They say, I'm not sure about my form and things like that. Can you take a look? And we'll get that set up, and then I work with them entirely remote from there on out. And it's
Meaning
all
virtual?
Virtually, yep. So I'll do all their custom programming and give them everything delivered so that they can work out in their home or in their own gym, wherever they choose.
All right, man.
Awesome.
Last one's for you. What's the key takeaway to the audience? I mean, like, hey, we needed to talk to you because of...
Because of my ability to live through it.
Bench pressing an aircraft carrier is pretty darn impressive.
Even a destroyer.
Or a destroyer.
I've been there. I've been there. That's really what it comes down to, is I've been there.
And you're using it as a platform to help others, which is really cool. And I appreciate you sharing your story out here because, without these cool stories, we don't really have much reason. I mean, I like to hang out with him and all, but, it's, it's all good. But, you're great. He's okay. But we can't do it without these guys. So, hey, what a cool story. If you like this episode, share the episode. We're going to put all of your links on our website, which is thedailynewsnetwork.com. But always remember to live with gratitude.
Our mission at Generation Media is to build positive word of mouth for our clients and the audiences that we serve. We hyper-target the most affluent audiences and focus our clients' marketing dollars right where they need to be with little to no waste. I'm David Permenter, founder and president of Generation Media, and we would love to have a short discovery call with you by phone or Zoom to see if we can help you reach your ideal clients.